in November 2001, Enron's earnings had been overstated by several $100 million. Thanks to whistleblowers and investigation, this fraud was exposed and their top executives were tried and sentenced to prison. Consequently, shares fell from $90.75 in August 2000 to just 67 cents in January 2002. And the examples of fraud go on. Fraud costs Australia $8.5 million annually, and the average fraud amounts to $3 million, with 50% of Australian businesses experiencing economic crime. Clearly, a lack of effective internal controls may be seen as preferable by businesses to save time or money in the short term, but it is illegal and unethical. Business fraud was recognised as a crisis, pushing the Australian government to pass the Corporate Law Economic Reform Program Act in July 2004. Internal control is the system of policies and procedures used in a company to promote efficient and effective operations, reliable financial reporting, and compliance with laws and regulations. There are 6 components of internal control. The control environment refers to the atmosphere and culture of a business, which affects the way people act. It begins with the tone at the top, which reflects the overall relationship to control throughout a business. Thus, management should focus on overall integrity and ethical values through standards of behaviour. This corporate culture can either harm or facilitate internal control. Control activities are the policies and procedures management establishes to address the risks that might prevent the business from achieving its objectives. There are 5 categories. Businesses need to maintain an open flow of relevant information in a time frame and form that best suits. Information systems need to be able to produce relevant and reliable reports, and a business should have both upward and downward lines of communication. Assessing risks refers to the identification and evaluation of the risks threatening the business's activities. These can be both external or internal, and involves asking, what is the significance of a risk? What is the likelihood it occurs? And what actions can be taken to manage the risk? Finally, monitoring is the assessment of the practice and effectiveness of a business's internal controls. And supervisors should check controls as part of their job and ensure employees understand their importance. A good memory trick to remember the components of internal control is that to not follow the components of internal control is a crime, where A stands for the activities of control, C communication, R risk assessment, I information, M monitoring, and E the environment of control.